What's going on, everyone? Today in this video I'm going to teach you how I have achieved a net worth of nearly $500,000 by age 25 by pretty much not doing anything exciting or having any kind of luck, not by receiving any kind of inheritance or anything like that. And I believe that a lot of people will be able to achieve a net worth in a relatively small amount of time of this large by just doing some very simple, basic things that most people are able to do, especially if they have the privilege and the luck of being born in the United States or another very wealthy country. I'm very lucky to have been born where I've been born. I'm very lucky to have the opportunities that the United States has presented to me. But I do want to say that I have grown my net worth without any inheritance. I've grown it without making a bunch of money from some super high paying job. A lot of these principles that I'm going to tell you about today can apply to a lot of you. And I think that they can really help you to build up your net worth in a short period of time, in a long period of time, whatever is in line with your goals. Everyone should want to build up their net worth to a sizable amount because eventually our net worth is what we're going to be using in order to be retired and live off of whether we're no longer able to work or whether we want to pursue other things in our life. So just real quick to show you that I am not making anything up, let me give you a quick screenshot of my personal capital account. That is my net worth recently taken. So it's almost at $500,000, but if I would have titled this video, How I Grew My Net Worth to $400,000, then no one would want to watch it. $500,000 sounds a lot cooler. So the first thing that I did was I educated myself as much as possible on personal finance, on saving money, on investing, and I just used free resources on the internet. I didn't need to go to college for that. I didn't need to buy any kind of course. I just pretty much did all self-learning on the internet. And of course, if you do it that way, it's going to take you a lot longer to learn everything you need to do because you might not know what you need to be looking for. But eventually, I gained a pretty good knowledge of personal finance and how to grow my net worth, especially slowly through patience and diligent investing. So I started educating myself. One of the biggest things that I learned was you need to know the difference between investing and saving money. So the way I have kind of developed that in my mind is when you're investing, you are seeking to make money off of the money that you invest, right? So you want a return on your investment. So whatever money you put into investments, you expect to get some kind of, you expect to get what you put into it plus some more back. I see saving as saving up money specifically for a purchase. So money you save should be meant to be spent, usually on a larger ticket item, such as a car, a house down payment, a vacation, whatever it may be. So the saving is money that you're going to use to spend, but usually on something larger than what you would normally buy, say every month. So now that you know the difference between saving and investing, the next thing you want to do is actually track and manage all the money that you have coming in and just know where it goes. So you need to track your money, your income, what's coming in, how much money do you have available to you. Then you need to track how much you are saving. So how much are you going to save for large purchases? How much is going to expenses? How much is going to investing? How much is going to saving? And for me, the easiest thing that I ever did was just use an online software because now I predominantly use credit cards so that it's really easy to track everything using online software. That is just what works for me. I personally use Personal Capital. The screenshot you saw earlier was of Personal Capital. I really like to use their software for managing my cash flow and for my investments. So if you guys have never used Personal Capital, I will put a link in the description below and I'll make a comment as well so you guys can check it out. It is completely free to use. There is other paid things on there, but you are no obligation to use any of those paid things. You can use the free tracking software, which is what I personally do. So I'd highly recommend you check out Personal Capital if you haven't already used it. So now that you're tracking your spending, one of the biggest things that I also learned was what to invest in. So I haven't always invested the same way. A lot of people have a misconception about investing that it's similar to gambling and speculation. But what I have learned through lots of research and personal experience with growing my own net worth, that investing in low-cost index funds is one of the best ways for pretty much anybody to invest. And if you don't know what a index fund is, it is basically a mutual fund that tracks a certain market index, such as the S&P 500 being one of the most popular. So it'll just track that index. It does not really need a active mutual fund portfolio manager. And so the fees for having your money in that account are extremely low. I'm talking like $15 for every $1 million invested or something like that. It's extremely low. If you pick the right company such as Fidelity or Vanguard or pretty much any online broker, the fees should be very low for their index funds. And so I've seen a majority of my wealth actually grown from interest earned on those index funds. And of course, I've seen a little bit of economic downturns that have decreased my net worth temporarily. But at the moment, I'm very unconcerned with it, since I know that investing is a long-term outlook. The next thing I really focused heavily on learning was about taxes and how I can minimize my taxes legally, of course. A lot of people just leave it up to their tax filer to do it for them, but there are so many things that you can learn that are very basic about taxes that can help reduce the amount of taxes that you pay. The tax system is very complicated. No one is saying that it isn't. But there are some things that you can learn within the tax system that apply to you that can help you legally reduce your taxes. And the less taxes you pay, the more money that you have to invest and grow your own net worth. So minimizing taxes is one of the big things that I focus on personally. And I think that a lot more people should educate themselves on taxes so that they can reduce their taxes and have more money to invest themselves. So that's the majority of how I got to where I am today, just focusing on those big principles. And so focusing on the big picture is what really is going to make the difference in growing your net worth. Because if you focus on the big things, such as investing in index funds, right? That's a big thing. And just investing, just start investing. That is a big picture item. Optimizing everything for investing does come later, but just getting started now is the big thing to do, because the sooner you get started, the more you're going to want to educate yourself and learn how to optimize for your particular situation. And that's the same thing with taxes. And it's the same thing with spending. Most likely the majority of your spending comes from 3 different categories: housing, transportation, and food. And once you optimize those 3 expenses, it helps a lot in your overall financial life. Then you can start focusing on the small things. But first, when you're first starting out, focus on the big picture, and that's what's going to get you a majority of the way to growing your net worth very large. And realize growing your net worth the way that I have is very slow and boring, but it works, and it can work for pretty much anybody. It's like a formula to success that is almost fail-proof, and it doesn't actually require anything complicated. Like I said, I've never made an exorbitant amount of money in any given year. I've never inherited any money. I've just educated myself, and I've used that education to grow my net worth to what it is today. And I will continue doing that for many more years to come. And if you want to do the same, I recommend that you follow those basic principles, and you can grow your net worth to a sizable amount no matter what your goals are. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want me to go more in depth on any one given topic, please leave that in the comments below, and I'll go a lot more in depth in it. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to leave those down below, because I want to help as many people with their personal finances as I possibly can. If you enjoyed watching this video, I'd really appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to put out more information on personal finance every single week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Zach from OnCashflow.com, and I hope to see you next time.